I can't understand it, Reverend Cole. It looks to me as though George has made a complete turnabout. His studies are excellent.
He's back in school?
Yes, of course. Haven't you heard? It seems he has the opportunity to attend Oxford. As a servitor, of course. He'd be there now, but for the academic credits he needs to complete here.
Are we talking about the same person? George Whitefield? The Whitefields that operate the Bellion here at Gloucester?
The same. George is back in school doing excellently well. Only one insignificant mistake on his last Latin examination.
It doesn't follow. At least every other Sunday he's outside my church, making fun and causing an annoying disturbance. I'm given to believe that he calls me Old Cole.
Like the king? Oh, well, you won't have to worry about him for very long. He's just about completed all he needs here, and then he'll be off to Oxford.
We greet our friends everywhere with Chapter 3 of Apostle of Two Continents, the story of George Whitefield. This is another in the series Stories of Great Christians and comes to you from the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago.
I say, Bevins, have you seen this?
Is that today's journal? Oh, no, I don't believe I have. Anything interesting?
I think so. Do you think we could go into London this weekend?
I don't see how. It's quite a distance, you know. And why? What's that you're reading?
There's to be a great sport this weekend. I shouldn't like to miss it.
Oh?
Listen here. It says they're going to dress a wild bear in fireworks and tie a live cat to his tail.
Oh!
Then they're going to release him in an enclosed area with a mad dog also dressed in fireworks. I should love to see that, wouldn't you?
I should say so. I wonder if I could locate transportation.
I wish you could. To see that bear and the dog in there.
And the cat along for the ride. What will they concoct next, eh?
I wonder if one of the servitors would know someone going into London this weekend. They speak with just about everyone.
Good idea. A call for one of them there. That fellow there. He seems to be quite popular with the gentlemen commoners.
New, isn't he? What's his name?
Oh, Whitehead or something. Here, I'll call him. You there, Wheatbread or whatever your name is.
Yes, sir.
Come over here.
Yes, sir. Whitfield, sir. George Whitfield.
How long have you been a servitor here at Oxford, Whitfield?
This is my first term, sir.
You seem to have caught on to it remarkably well. What's your background?
That's what probably accounts for it, sir. You see, my family are innkeepers.
Oh, is that so?
That's right.
Well, with all the enterprises that go into innkeeping.
No inexperienced sissy, this. It's plain we have a man of the world among us.
I'm afraid you have
You'll
the wrong...
have to join some of the rest of us, Whitfield. I'm sure you've much to add to our conversation, eh, Bevins?
Undoubtedly. I have it. Tonight, Whitfield, a small group of us are leaving campus to attend a boxing match. A couple of extremely mad women from London are battling in the basement of an inn near here, and...
Women? Fighting?
Too tame for your blood, eh, Whitfield?
Possibly he'd be more interested in where we go after the match.
I'd say quite possibly. It's well worth your while, Whitfield. Would you join us?
I'm afraid not. I can't say
Oh,
as
come now. We'd be interested in hearing of your experiences at the inn.
Surely a servitor has some time for fun. Your work and studies here can't use up that much of your time.
Fun? Do you call what you propose doing fun? I came to Oxford with high ideals of the school and its students, but all you propose to me is a sophisticated version of the same sort of dissipation I saw back at the inn. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I'll have none of your lady boxers or any of your after.
Oh,
here.
Bravo. You know, he sounds exactly like one of those Bible bigots over at the Holy Club. Only he's a somewhat better speaker.
I was reminded of exactly the same thing, Bevins. Have you joined them, Whitfield?
No, I haven't joined them. But in contrast to the values expressed in this club, I think the Wesley brothers and all the others make a remarkably good showing.
My Doesn't he do well at oratory, Carvel?
Again, my thoughts exactly.
As a servitor, I'm obliged to do your bidding. Was there something you wanted?
Oh, I'd almost forgotten. We were wondering if you knew of anyone who was traveling to London over the weekend. I don't think I'd better tell you why we wanted to go. I've had about enough in the way of speeches, haven't you, Carvel?
More than enough. Well, Whitfield, do you know of anyone who's going into London?
No, I'm afraid not. Will that be all?
For now, Whitfield, for now.
Excuse me.
Singularly odd fellow, I'd say. I'm not sure I care for his attitude.
For once, you think my thoughts, Carvel, old fellow. I'd say our friend needs to be taught a thing or two. And I even have a plan to do the teaching.
I like it already. Do go on.
Well, you know the place we're going after the match tonight. Why not have Whitfield deliver a valise of effects to that address? Ought to be fun to see what happens, eh?
It'll take some speech to talk his way out of there.
Come on, let's get out of here.
What does she have to go and do that for?
Did she kill herself?
Never mind her. She's just to come.
Come on. You don't want to get caught, do you?
Is anyone there? Hello? Doesn't seem to be a soul around. I wonder if they were just playing a joke. What's that? Hello? Is anyone there? I don't see anyone, but that sound came from over there. Oh, no. Oh, you poor. I'll see if I can get help. Help! Help! Is anyone about? Help!
What is it, young man? What do you want?
Bring a doctor around right away. Someone's been hurt.
I'm not surprised in there.
Please, hurry. I think the poor girl is dying.
She'll be all right. I seem to have arrived just in time.
Tried to slit your throat, eh? Well, I'm not surprised.
Please.
I'm surprised you stayed, young fellow. I don't know as I'd be caught in a place like this if someone was just tried to take her own life.
I'm afraid I don't completely understand. You see, I'm a servitor over at the university, and I was sent here to deliver this valise by one of the students.
Looks like someone was playing a little joke on you. However, it appears that it saved this poor girl's life. Can't say as I think much of her kind.
I'm not surprised she tried to end it all.
Yeah, but I do feel sorry for her.
Where am I?
There. You haven't changed location. You're still alive.
Oh, what are you all doing here? Why don't you let me die?
Yeah, look in on her again tomorrow. Meantime, see if you can't get her to take nourishment. She's lost a good deal of blood. Good night.
You're one of those men. I've seen you before.
Please do try to lie still. You saw me just before you fainted. I came in and found you here.
Why didn't you just let me die?
That's what comes of her lot.
Old woman, would you fetch a man here for me?
What's that?
I want you to go to the rooms of Charles Wesley. Here, I'll write down his address.
Won't do no good. You can't read.
You can ask someone. Go to the university and ask. Someone will tell you. Bring Mr. Wesley here. I think he might be able to help this poor girl.
I don't want to see any man. You're all the same.
This man is different. He seems to know what to say to help people. I think he may be able to offer you help. Now, please, old woman, hurry.
I'm going.
Oh, and one thing.
Yes?
Please do not mention who sent you. I'd rather Mr. Wesley didn't know.
How could I now? I don't even know your name. In fact, I'm not so sure I'm going to do it.
I'll pay you for this errand, woman. After you've carried it out, just inquire at Pembroke College over at the university. Ask for George Whitfield.
Oh, now that's different. I have it. Mr. Charles Wesley to come here, and Mr. George Whitefield to pay me, and don't mention Mr. George Whitefield to Mr. Charles Wesley.
So you see, Whitfield, when the old woman told me it was you that had summoned me, I knew immediately that I must meet and talk with you.
Actually, I'd told her not to mention my name to you.
I know, but she couldn't remember whether she was not to mention the name of Mr. George Whitefield to Mr. Charles Wesley, or Mr. Charles Wesley to Mr. George Whitefield. I had to chuckle at that.
How is that poor girl?
The one who almost cut her throat?
Yes. Is she any better?
Physically, she seems to be coming along very well. She's moved to new lodgings and is almost convinced that she might be able to start a new life. A much more decent one, I might add, than the one she almost ended.
I'm glad to hear it.
George, may I call you George?
Please do.
George, why did you send me to that girl?
I knew of your work among the poor and in prisons. I thought you'd be experienced in talking with her kind of person, and might be able to help.
I am, of course, grateful for the opportunity, but I was just curious as to why you chose me.
I confess I am somewhat an admirer of the Holy Club, from a distance, of course. You fellows seem to have been able actually to live Christian principles.
And what about you, George?
Me?
That's right. You mentioned the poor, the prisons, that girl. But what about you?
I'm afraid I'm somewhere in between. I admire greatly anyone who seems able to live a true life. A life that speaks of God. I detest the vulgarity of most of the students here, of the times in general. And yet I feel pulled, stretched between 2 points. I pray, even fast on occasion. When opportunity arises, I do what good I can. But as far as fulfilling any real purpose, as far as touching anything godly, well, I feel like a man locked inside iron armor, and no amount of struggle seems to set me free. Now see what you've done. You've put me in the confessional. Next, you shall be preaching to me and absolving me.
George, I wonder if you'd be interested in attending one of our meetings.
The Holy Club?
That's right. Oh, don't be frightened. We're not as queer as many seem to think. What we're trying to do is to systematically apply the teachings of Jesus Christ to our lives. You've probably heard us called Methodists. Well, in a way, that's what we're trying to do. And when these principles of holy living and good works are engaged in a methodical way, you'd be surprised at how different life seems. Why don't you join us, George? Meet others with the same struggles. I think it'll do you good.
I will attend, Charles. I'll promise no more than one meeting, but I will attend.
Can I the memorable day forget, when first we by divine appointment met, an Israelite, without disguise or art, I saw, I loved, and clasped into my heart.
And so we conclude Chapter 3 of Apostle of Two Continents, the story of George Whitefield. This is another in the series Stories of Great Christians that comes to you from the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.